Hello, my name is Dagan Ray, and this is my informative speech. I have my mom filming with me here. So let's dive right in. You see this awesome looking snake? Isn't he so cool and beautiful? If you want to see more of him, then listen up to this speech so that I can tell you all about why you need to love him a lot so that he can stay around long. So the specific purpose of this speech is to inform the audience about the rare Louisiana pine snake, its ecology, and why it's endangered and why it's important to the forest community. So my credibility, I'm a forestry major at SFASU. I've done research on this snake before, and I've conglomerated some of my findings into this informational speech. I also have an interest in herpetology, which is the study of cold-blooded animals such as lizards, snakes, and any other kind of reptile. So we care about this snake and why it's rare because it's very beneficial for the environment. It helps manage gopher populations in East Texas, and gophers are very bad for farmers because they dig holes in the field, they dig up crops, they get into gardens. So having the snake around to manage that population is very beneficial. So this presentation is going to cover a few different things. It's going to cover its food source, its hibernation cycles, the growth rates and mortality rates. It's got some articles that cover some information about these as well, and that's also where I found the information. And it's a general. There's a general discussion at the end about moving forward with the snake. So just some ecology facts. I know there's a lot on the board, but I'm going to simplify it for you. So the habitat is longleaf pine savannas. Those are very hard to come by. They come naturally through forest fires, which we prevent a lot of them nowadays, so there's a lot less longleaf pine savannas in East Texas. Their food, they specifically only eat pocket gophers. About 95% of their diet consists of pocket gophers. This specificity does make the population decline make more sense because of how picky they are about what they eat. Their breeding cycles, they have very long gestation periods, as well as the largest eggs of any snake in Texas, which makes it very difficult to keep up with the population, only having a couple snakes per birthing cycle. Their hibernation, they do need to hibernate like most reptiles and mammals, and so they can't burrow their own holes and therefore have nowhere to stay in the winter and often freeze out, and this has also declined the population greatly. Their growth rates and the mortality rates are just everything wrong with growth rates and mortality rates. The male snakes grow quicker and larger than the female snakes, leaving many female snakes to be eaten or killed off in young age before they can have a birthing cycle, therefore reducing the population more. And that ties in directly with mortality rates, and due to their picky diets, picky environment, picky everything, their mortality rates are just going up. So all this information was provided by the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. So this first slide just covers what I said about the hibernacula. This quote here from the article is, "The availability of suitable hibernation sites is influenced by forest management. Our influence on the environment is part of the issue with them finding proper hibernation spots. Suppression of fire favors woody encroachment and reduces the food base for pocket gophers. So we reduce fires, which takes out certain plants that the pocket gophers need to eat in order to fuel the snakes. So we take down one population at a time, starting with a plant to a small mammal to a reptile, and it all ties in. And another thing is temperature in these areas. And this says, in many geological settings, rock outcrops provide the primary access to depths. I don't know if you've ever been to the East Texas Piney Woods, but there's not a lot of big rock outcrops out there, and therefore aren't a lot of warm places for these snakes besides burrows. So this article covers the growth rates and mortality rates. And this quote just says, in terms of total length, adult males reached larger sizes than adult females, and we talked about why that's important. This figure shows the difference between captive breds, which are these open dots, and wild snakes, which are these black dots. As you can see, the wild snakes get longer in total length, while the captive ones do not get as long, nearly as long as the wild snakes, but grow much quicker. So the third article and the fifth article, once seen in the works cited at the end, cover the status. Status is a very broad thing to cover, and it's hard to narrow it down. But the current status is that it's in a decline. The population is going down rapidly. So this was from the third article, and it's a trap map. So they have all these open boxes, which are all traps where these snakes have been caught before. Each black box is where a snake was caught again in this study at those trap locations. As you can see, there's a lot of open boxes and not a lot of closed boxes, meaning that there is a severe decline in population. So if you look at this quote, it says, trap success was low at all sites where P. ruthveni, which is the Latin name for the snake, is known to occur. This is the last article, and it covers, it's the USDA's take on the snake, and they just say that they are in favor of preserving it as much as they can. So they're doing any sort of outreach to try and get people involved. It also mentions the size of the eggs being part of the issue with the population decline. So what we can do is we can encourage landowners to allow us to do more research and to locate these snakes and try and help them as much as possible, as well as trying to build habitats for them. These snakes are very important to the balance of all life, as each species is important to the balance of life, but especially in East Texas, the disappearance of these snakes has made a huge boom in the gopher population, which is not very good for farmers and has caused a lot of issues for people. So what we can do is reach out best we can and do all we can to preserve this snake. Here's my works cited. Thank you.